Hi everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another lecture under ARD Simplified Series. So today the topic that we are going to cover is types of irrigation system. Okay, very important topic again for your examination point of view. Why? Because in 2024 phase 1, two questions were there from this particular topic. So today we are going to discuss in detail about what is irrigation system and what are different types of irrigation system, right? So let's start, and first let us understand the meaning of word irrigation. Okay, before understanding what is irrigation system, we should know the meaning of irrigation. So what is irrigation? Irrigation is process of application of water to the field. Okay, it is just a simple process where we are artificially applying water to the field, right? So now why we are applying water to the field? Why this irrigation is done? Because crop need water for growth and development, and it might be a condition that soil do not have enough water to meet crop demand. So in that case, what we do irrigation. We apply water artificially to the field, right? Now let's understand what is irrigation system. So students, irrigation system is network of infrastructure. Okay, it is a network of infrastructure that has been built, that has been designed in order to supply or in order to deliver water to the field effectively. Okay, so efficiently water should be delivered into the field. In that case, we develop a system which is known as irrigation system, right? So what is irrigation system? Network of infrastructure designed to deliver water to plants, right? When rainfall is insufficient to support crop growth, the usual source of water, see, if we are not giving irrigation, that doesn't mean water, crop will not grow, soil will not have water. There will be moisture in the soil with the help of rain, right? But again, that is not sufficient for crop growth. We need to supplement that rainwater. So what we do in that case, we do irrigation, and to efficiently deliver this water to the field, we make a system which is known as irrigation system. Okay, we develop an infrastructure which is known as irrigation system. Now let us understand different types of irrigation system. So we have three types of irrigation system. First is surface irrigation, then we have subsurface irrigation, and then we have pressurized or micro irrigation. Now in case of surface irrigation, we are applying water to the surface of soil. Okay, whenever we are giving water to the surface of soil, okay, and we are the water application is done on the surface level of soil, that is the surface irrigation system, right? Now in case of subsurface irrigation system, we are not irrigating surface of soil, rather we are applying or we are giving water at the subsurface level. Okay, and how does that happen? We will be discussing in coming slide. Then we have the another type which is known as pressurized or micro irrigation system. Now in this case, under some pressure, water is slowly released around the crop plant. Okay, hence it is called pressurized irrigation system. Clear? So we will be discussing about all these in detail. Now first let us understand about surface irrigation system. So students, surface irrigation system is what? When we irrigate the crop in such a way that water is allowed to flow over the surface of soil. That type of system is known as surface irrigation system. Means when we are allowing water to just flow over the soil surface, that is surface irrigation system. Now it can be done in different ways, and on that basis the surface irrigation system is divided into different types, right? So we have flood surface irrigation, then border surface irrigation, also furrow irrigation system, furrow surface irrigation system, right? This furrow is again divided into different types. It can be straight, contour, broadbed, corrugation, surge. Okay, then we have another type of surface irrigation system which is basin irrigation system, and it is divided into check basin and ring basin. Now let us discuss about all these different types of surface irrigation system in detail. So first we have is flood surface irrigation system, right? Now as the name suggests, flood irrigation system. So here what we are doing, we are flooding the field basically, right? We are not guiding water to move in a particular direction. What we have done, we have just opened, we have just, allowed water to just flow freely into the entire land. Like how this happens, for say this is our field, okay? this is the inlet point from which the water is entering into the field. So now what will happen, this water can move any way in the field, right? And what we do, we create a little bit flood like condition here, as you can see in the picture also. Okay, flood like condition is created in this case. So this is known as flood irrigation system. Okay, that is the flood irrigation system. Now in order to do this flood irrigation system, it's very important that we have a uniform soil. Our soil is leveled. Okay, see, if we do not have leveled soil, our soil is unleveled, like for say this is the structure of soil, what will happen? Each part of this soil might not receive water. Okay, some plants that are growing on the in these area might not receive the water, and they can be, you know, they can die with the lack of water, they can die with scarcity of water, right? So it's very important that our field should be uniform, our field should be leveled in case of flood irrigation system. Now what are the advantages of flood irrigation system? First advantage is that it is very cheap and convenient. Okay, it does not require much labor, it is very cheap. But there are several disadvantages associated with it, and in India usually flood irrigation is followed. What are disadvantages? Like soil erosion. Okay, it increases the rate of soil erosion because we are just flooding the field. Okay, so it can carry soil particle from one place to another place and can lead to soil erosion. It can also sometimes cause the water stagnation condition if more water is applied, because here we are not, you know, we do not have any regulator how much amount of water we are supplying to the field. If more water is applied, water stagnation condition will generate, and sometimes crop may die due to this water stagnation condition, right? If more water is applied, what will happen? The nutrient that are present on the top surface of the soil, nutrient that are present here, may leach down. It may leach down along with the water into the soil profile, and the nutrient content on the top soil can decrease again, leading to the leading to nutrient deficiency in our crop plants, right? So these are the several disadvantages associated with flood irrigation system, and I hope now flood irrigation kya hai is clear to you all, right? Now let's move ahead to the next type of surface irrigation method, which is basin surface irrigation method. Now students, it's very simple. Like we all have wash basin, right? So it is a basin. Basin is what? Something that can contain something, right? So in case of basin irrigation, again what we are doing, we are making small basin like structure in our field so that it can contain water that we are providing to it, right? So the entire field, if I have this field, entire field is divided into, this is the main source of water. So entire field is divided into small basin like structure. Okay, from here water is entering to these basins. Now why these basins are created? In order to hold water for certain period of time, so that the water that is being collected in this basin get enough time to get percolate into the soil, right? So that it can effectively store into the soil. So this is basin irrigation system. Clear? So it is again of two different types, check basin and ring basin irrigation system. Let us understand what is the difference between check basin and ring basin. Now in case of check basin, which is commonly used in India, what we are doing, we are making rectangular basin like structure. Okay, you can see here, this is a check basin. This is the example of check basin structure. So you can see rectangular or square like basin like structure is developed over a field, and it is used to collect water, right? And it is effective in crop like your paddy, maize, then pearl millet. But if we have any crop which is water sensitive, which is sensitive to wet condition, or which is sensitive to water logging condition, in that case we do not opt for this irrigation system, right? And the advantages associated with this system is that it helps in leaching salt. How? So if you can recall, I have told you about the problematic soil already in the previous lecture, and there I have told you that due to evaporation, all your salts get accumulated on the surface, right? All your salts get accumulated on the surface. Now in the case of check basin system, if we have this condition and we are allowing water to allowing water to stay over this surface, what will happen? This water will percolate inside the soil, and due to this percolation of water inside the soil, this water will also carry salts. This water will leach down the salt, clear, and hence reducing the salt concentration on the surface of soil, clear. So this is the added advantage with the check basin system, clear. Now next we have is ring basin method. What is this method basically, students? In case of a large plantation area, like if you have orchard, okay, like you can see in the picture, this is the orchard where the crops are planted at a far distance, means the distance between two crop plant is very much. So what we cannot just, we cannot just do flooding in this case. We cannot just develop any kind of system in this case. So what we do here, we develop this ring basins around each plant, okay. Around each plant, this ring basin is developed, and in this ring basin, water is provided to the plant to this specific area only, not entire field, because again, it is not possible to irrigate entire field. So what we do in this case, we manage each plant, we irrigate each plant by developing a ring basin like structure around it, clear. So this is a ring basin structure where individual plant management is done, and it is efficient for fruit cultivation. Now students, in your examination question have been asked about ring basin structure, and you have to know that this is effective for fruit cultivation, for your horticulture crop, or for your plantation crop. Anyway, if it is asked, you can know that it is talking about ring basin structure, okay. So I hope now basin irrigation method or this is clear to you, right? Now next we have is border irrigation method. In border irrigation method, the land is divided into long parallel rows. You can see the whole land is divided into long parallel rows separated by these bunds, right? So these bunds separate, and these rows are made with the help of these bunds, right? And this is the main water channel. From here, the water is entering into these strips, long strips that are formed by these bunds, clear. So this is your border irrigation system. Now in this case, why it is done, basically, if we allow water to just flood into field, it is possible that water do not reach this part of your land, right? So in order to efficiently, uniformly move water into the field, this is done so that each part of field get irrigated, each part of field get enough amount of water, right? So this is your border irrigation system. Next we have is furrow irrigation system. Now students, if you have ever seen how potato is cultivated, so there you might have seen these structures, okay, these structures. This is called ridges and furrow method, okay. So here what is done, in furrows water is allowed to move, okay. These are furrows, and on ridges crop is planted, okay. Crop is planted on the ridges. These are the ridges on which potato crop is planted, and these are the furrows, and the water is allowed to move in these furrows. So this type of irrigation is known as furrow irrigation system, okay, and it is suitable for row crops where we need to grow crop in rows. So there it is suitable. Now it is of different type. It is straight, contour, broadbed, corrugation, and surge. Okay, now what are these different types? So straight is this first type which we are seeing in this particular picture. Straight furrows, okay, on a level land, straight furrows are made, straight ridge and furrows are made, and in these furrows water is supplied, right? So this is the straight furrow method. Next we have is the contour furrow. Contour furrow is basically in the slopy land, like in your mountains or any land having a particular slope, there contour, along the contour line furrows are made, okay, and then irrigation is provided. This is called contour furrow method, okay, where along the contour line furrows are made and irrigation is provided. Now the advantage of this is to just, not just to irrigate the crop, but also this will reduce soil erosion in such cases, where the land is slopy, right? So this is another type which is contour furrow. Then we have broad bed furrow. Broad bed furrow, you can see this is the example of broad bed furrow, pictures showing the broad bed furrow. You can see one furrow is quite broad, right? And on this broad bed, plants are grown, multiple rows of plants are grown, right? So this is broad bed furrow. Now students, this particular furrow system is used in heavy soil, right? So in heavy soil, what can happen? Water can water can there can be a water logging condition, because in heavy soil where clay particles are more, so water retention is more, so it can cause water logging in such case. So what can happen, the plant root can die due to rotting. So these broad beds are constructed. Okay, broad beds are constructed. On these broad beds plants are grown. These are the plants that are grown, and here water is allowed to move in the furrows, right? Then slowly this water move horizontally, and the plant is not in the direct contact with the water. Okay, rather the horizontal flow of water, from the horizontal flow of water the plant root is taking up water gradually, right? Hence protecting the plant from water stagnation condition. So this is your broad bed furrow system, right? Then we have is corrugation. What are corrugation? So students, sometimes in order to guide the flow of water, small zigzag furrows are made in between, so that water can uniformly go or uniformly spread on the entire surface. So sometimes what can happen, if we do not have level land, so we need to make some small furrow like structure that can help in flowing the water, that can help in guiding the water to the entire land. So this is known as corrugation furrow method, right? Now next we have is very important, which is surge furrow method, which was asked in your examination, right? Now student, this surge furrow irrigation method is modified form of furrow irrigation. Now this is the exact line which was asked to you in your examination. Which of the following is a modified form of furrow irrigation method? So this was the surge furrow irrigation method, okay, or surge irrigation method. Now what is the surge irrigation method? Again, here we have furrows. Here we will develop same ridge and furrow as in the traditional method, but the pattern of application of water is very different here. What we are doing here, basically we are not at once providing water to go in to flow in the furrows. What we are doing, we are using on off cycle. What is this on off cycle? Okay, so like for say this is our field. Okay, this is our field. These are for say ridges on which plants are growing. Okay, these are ridges on which plants are growing. Now in between ridges what we will have, we will have furrows, right? So these are furrows. Okay, so what we do in case of surge irrigation, this is the main water flowing, right? So this, what we do, we allow water to flow inside this furrow for a certain period of time, like for 10 minutes I have allowed water to flow in these furrows. Okay, water will flow with for 10 minutes in the furrow. For say it has reached to this particular point, and after 10 minutes I have stopped the flow of water, right? I have stopped the flow of water. Then after again 10 minutes I will on it, and I will allow water to flow for next 10 minutes. So for the next time water is reaching at this particular point. So why this is done, basically students, this method is to seal the soil. What will happen when water will move to a certain point? At first, like for first 10 minutes, water will move to this much point, this much area, right? Like for say it has covered this much area. What will happen in that case? Water will go inside the soil quickly, because soil do not have water. It has all pores open, and all pore space will be clogged or filled by the water. Okay, now this water has sealed this area. So at the next cycle, this area is already sealed with water, we can say, right, or already filled with water. So for the next cycle, whenever we'll apply water, this water will not stay here. This water will rather move ahead, right, covering the next further area for the next 10 minutes. Clear? So this is why this irrigation method is used to uniformly or efficiently apply water from the very beginning to the end of the furrow, right? So this is your surge furrow irrigation method, right? It is also known as on and off irrigation method, because again we are switching on the flow of water for certain time, and then we switch off the flow of irrigation for certain period of time. So it is also known as on and off irrigation method, or it is done in on and off cycles. Okay, So this is your surge furrow irrigation method. I hope it's clear to you now, right? At a particular time period, we are just allowing water to flow and then we are stopping the flow of water. Then again, we are allowing water to flow, then we are again stopping the water flow. This is your surge irrigation method, very important, and this is the thing that you have to remember, that it is a modified form of furrow irrigation method. Clear? Now with that, we have covered your surface irrigation method. Now let's discuss about subsurface irrigation method. Now subsurface irrigation method is of two types, natural method and artificial method. Okay. In subsurface irrigation, water is applied 30 to 75 centimeter below the ground surface, below the soil surface, right? So what is natural method of subsurface irrigation method? So basically students, we have a soil profile, right? So in soil profile, we also have water table. What is water table? Water table is the water that is present inside the soil, which is, which is accumulated. This water is accumulated inside the soil. But if this water table is high, enough to, to reach the crop root can directly absorb water from the water table, right? So this is a natural method, means naturally water is present in the subsurface level, which is being absorbed by the crop, right? So this is a natural subsurface method. But if water table is not that too much high, what we will do? We will install few pipes, or we will install some kind of structure at the subsurface level, and we are not exposing, we are not irrigating surface, rather we are irrigating subsurface. You can see this pipe is installed at the subsurface level, and from this pipe the water is, the water is allowed to flow at the subsurface level, and the plant roots are directly coming in contact with water. Now, what is advantage of this type of irrigation method? See, the installation charges, the installation investment is very high. It's not easy to install pipes at subsurface level. Also, it's not easy to maintain it for a further, for a longer duration of time. But the advantage here is that when we are applying water to the surface, it is prone to evaporation losses, right? This water will evaporate also. Some amount of water will evaporate and only some amount of water will go inside the soil. But if we are directly applying water to the subsurface level, water evaporation means evaporation losses will be less. Clear? So that is why this subsurface irrigation method is adopted. Okay. So this is a artificial method, artificial subsurface method, where we are artificially installing few pipes at the subsurface level and directly irrigating the roots of plant through subsurface. Clear? So this is your subsurface irrigation method. Now next we have is pressurized irrigation method. Now pressurized irrigation method is what? Where we are applying water under some pressure, okay, and it is of two types, drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation. Very important, again, question has been asked from your drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation both. Now here under some pressure we are irrigating water, we are irrigating crop plant, sorry. Okay, so it is of two types. Drip irrigation. What is drip irrigation? Basically here we are drop by drop irrigating crop root zone. We are not entirely irrigating the entire field. Rather what we are doing, we are irrigating only around the root zone of crop. Okay? You can see through this pipe, there is a pipe. We will be discussing about that in detail, but understand that drop by drop root zone is irrigated. Direct application is done at root zone. Okay. Now another is sprinkler irrigation. What is sprinkler irrigation? You can see through sprinklers a condition is created which resemble like rainfall. Okay, a rainfall like structure, or you can say infrastructure is built where it resemble like rainfall. Okay, through sprinklers sprinkle the water everywhere around it and it resemble like rainfall, and if this type of irrigation is done, that is your sprinkler irrigation system. Now students, you can see in this picture there are sprinklers installed at multiple locations, and these sprinklers are sprinkling the water, okay, over the crop surface. We are not irrigating here land directly, rather we are irrigating over the crop, right? So this is your sprinkler irrigation system. Now here water saving is around 25 to 50%. Okay, discharge rate of this water here is around 1000 liter per hour. Okay, so 1000 liter per hour is the discharge rate of our sprinkler irrigation system, And the advantage of sprinkler irrigation system is that it is suitable for undiluted topography or unleveled land. So if we do not have level land or the topography is not suitable for other kind of irrigation, there we can use the sprinkler irrigation system. Here what we are doing, we are creating a artificial rain like condition here. Okay, we are not irrigating soil. So in undulating topography, in unleveled land, this type of irrigation system can be adopted very well, right? And it also there is also labor saving of around 40 to 60% in this type of system. Clear? So I hope now this is clear to you. Now next we have is drip irrigation system. Now students, very important to remember, drip irrigation system was developed by Simcha Blas in Israel, right? So here in drip irrigation system, the water saving is around 60 to 70% and discharge rate is only 2 to 10 liter per hour. Okay, what is drip irrigation system? I have already told you that this is crop root zone. Okay, this is crop root zone. So what we are doing with the help of drippers or pipes, what we are doing, we are drop by drop irrigating just around the root zone. Okay, now with this what we are doing, we are saving a lot of water. Okay, we are not just blindly irrigating anything, we are first of all applying water to the root zone only, okay, where it is required. Then drop by drop it is released. So it is through this way what we are doing, we are saving a lot of water, right? So it is efficient in areas where water scarcity is there. So though installation charges of drips and everything is high, but once installed, a lot of water saving can be done from here, right? So in this system, what do we have? We have a pump, okay, that pumps water for us in the chemical tank. So what is this chemical tank? Basically, this is a tank which store the water. Now this chemical tank is also used for multiple purpose, like if we want to provide fertilizer. So rather than, applying rather than applying fertilizer over the soil, what we do, we directly apply fertilizer around the root zone. In that case, what we do, we mix fertilizer with water, and then this water is, through this dripper, this water is spread around the root zone, and the fertilizer is directly applied to the root zone of crop, and the nutrient will be easily taken by the crop plant, right? So there is a chemical tank where we mix fertilizer or anything that we want to mix along with water. Then we have emitters that emit water for that will take water from chemical tank to the different area. And then we also have filters. Filters are basically there in order to prevent clogging of pores, right? So these are pipes. So these pipes can be clogged. So there are filters also which will prevent the clogging of pipes. So these are the different component of drip irrigation system. Now very important thing from drip irrigation system that was asked for this year is different types of drip irrigation system. Earlier we do not used to study this thing, but now as the question has been asked, so we should know that there are two type of drip irrigation system. First we have a surface drip irrigation system, and then we have subsurface drip irrigation system. And just like your surface irrigation system and subsurface irrigation system, ठीक है? Drip irrigation system भी अगर हम सरफेस में ड्रिप इरिगेशन कर रहे हैं तो दैट बिकम्स योर सरफेस ड्रिप इरिगेशन सिस्टम. बट इफ वी आर बरिंग दिस pipes 4 to 12 inches deep inside the soil, then that is your subsurface drip irrigation system. ठीक है? So students, if I talk about surface drip irrigation system, here pipes are installed on the soil surface. This is easy to install and maintain because on the surface we can still see things and we can maintain them, right? It is cost effective as compared to the subsurface drip irrigation system, and it is suitable for multiple crops like vegetable, flowers, etc. Right? Now, if I talk about subsurface irrigation system, here we need to bury these pipes under, at 4 to 12 inches below the soil surface. So that will increase your maintenance cost, that will increase your installation cost, that will increase your overall cost of installation, right? Then here, what we are doing in case of surface, again water is applied to the root zone, okay, at the surface of soil, so it can be evaporated. But if we are applying applying water at subsurface level, the evaporation losses will be reduced. Also it will reduce weed growth around the root zone, okay. The weed seed will not, or the unwanted plant will not be able to grow around your crop root, around your crops, okay. And also it is ideal for orchard, vineyards and so. ठीक है? So these are this is the difference between your surface drip irrigation and subsurface drip irrigation system. So students, let us understand the difference between sprinkler and drip. So basically in sprinkler, water is sprayed in form of rains. In drip, drop by drop water is applied to the root zone. Discharge rate here is more than 1000 liter per hour. In drip case, it is 1 to 4 liter per hour. Water saving here is 25 to 50%. In case of drip, it is 60 to 70%. Here application is uniform. Here it is application is root zone specific, right? It is best for, sprinkler is best for your undulating topography. Drip is best for the areas where water scarcity is there. Now students, the system that we adopt or that we use for our thing, it may depend on various things, right? How much amount of water is present. Okay, on that basis you will adopt any system. Like if you have enough water resources, you can go for flood irrigation. But if in areas where water scarcity is there, then drip irrigation will be suitable in such case, right? It will depend on crop type also. Like if any crop need flooded condition like your rice, then obviously you will go for flood irrigation system. But if your crop can grow with minimum water requirement like your millets and so, then you can go for other type of irrigation system, okay, where water when easily water can be given to the crop. Or if your crop do not like waterlogging condition, then again you can go for different other types of irrigation system. It will depend on terrain. See, I have already told you, if you have undulating topography, you can go for sprinkler. But if you have leveled land, you can go for border irrigation system, you can go for furrow irrigation system and other type of irrigation system, right? And also it will depend on budget also, right? See, how much amount you have to invest on the irrigation system, that will also depend कि आप कौन सा type का irrigation system adopt कर सकते हैं, right? So on all these factor, the system that you adopt is dependent on, right? So this was about this lecture, and now let's see the questions that were asked in your examination. So first question was, which of the following type of drip irrigation system lying pipe or tubing below soil surface with drip emitters or dripper releasing water into the soil, and this type of system is best suited for row crops and orchards. So right now so student, in this particular question, it is written tubing below the soil surface. Okay, so answer here will be subsurface drip irrigation system. ठीक है, तो ये था इसका आंसर, subsurface drip irrigation system, that we have already discussed in the lecture also, and now I think you know about this particular thing, right? Now students, this is the question that is again asked in the examination, and I want you to solve this question. ठीक है, question is, surge irrigation is a modified form of which of the following type of irrigation system? Again I have discussed, but I want you to solve this question and do let me know the answer in the comment section. So that was all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much.